Hello everybody and welcome back to Blue Jay Acres. My name is Noelle. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you decide to stick around, give a thumbs up and subscribe. Alright, so today we're going to do a full day of eating, making everything from scratch. And what all I'm cooking today, it is already, well, I need to change my clocks. It says 11, it's really, I guess 10 because we had the time change last night because this is Sunday. So we're gonna do more of a brunch and then we will do, I need to make some bread. I've got a bunch of fruit here that we need to do some stuff with because I get my flash food boxes. I actually just got 3 more. I thought I was filming that for you guys yesterday and I wasn't. So I need to use up some of these apples mostly. Got a lot of apples. And yeah, we're gonna make dinner. Like I said, I need to make some bread, so we've got bread for the next few days. My Wonder Mill wheat grinder did just quit working. It finally died, and I did order a new one, and I have a new one coming tomorrow, so I will be using white flour today because I don't have any way to grind all my wheat. So just so you know, I did have a bag of bread flour already and I'm using that. I did stick with the same mill. I got an identical one to what I've had because it has lasted me for over 20 years. So I'm not going to switch now. I mean, it's done me right. So also, Ronnie went for testing. I know many of you are wondering about that. So if you want to skip this and jump into cooking, then go on to skip. But she went ahead and did allergy testing because even quitting the steroids, she still has this rash all the time. And so the doctor said that she didn't need to do food allergy testing. It was not a food allergy. What she has is autoimmune. So she said until they figured that out, they're really not gonna be able to get everything else under control until they figure out what it is she actually has. So she tested her for a bunch of other stuff, sent us to Children's Hospital to get a bunch more blood work done. She is checking for celiac. She said that's actually autoimmune. It is not an allergic reaction. We did get back some of the stuff. She did test her for like an allergic reaction or an allergy to pork, to chicken, to beef. All that came back negative. The only thing in her blood work that we've gotten back so far was that her white blood counts were off. But it says that that's normal when you have an autoimmune issue going on. So we're back to just waiting. We wait, said it could be 2 weeks before we find out the results of that. So they did give her and tell her she has to take Zyrtec every night to kind of help try and keep the hives under control. So she is taking a couple of Zyrtec every night. And yeah, I think that's about it. And then Kate, God love her, she had her wisdom teeth out, which needed to be done, but she got her wisdom teeth out. So I have been taking care of her the last few days and she's doing great though. So yeah, that's where we are. That's what's going on. Today we have a huge delivery of hay coming. And I've already got some lard rendering because I had some lard from our pig that we got about 6 months ago, and I need to clear that out because yesterday I went out and I picked up our new pork delivery. So we got another whole hog, and we have, before our pigs are ready, we have like another year. So we'll probably end up with having to buy one more, and then hopefully we'll be done and it will just be pork from our farm. So I think I've brought you up to speed on everything. All right, let's get started with some breakfast. I'm gonna turn around and show you this fruit that I need to use up first. Okay, so here we go. This is what all I need to use up. I've got 4 grapefruit here. I haven't decided if I wanna just juice them or if we'll just do grapefruit later this week. These are all the apples that I gotta use up, so I definitely need to get those in something. I'm probably gonna pick out like 12 apples to just keep as apples in the fridge. And then I'm gonna go on and juice some today. And then these are the oranges I'm gonna juice this morning. And I have about 15 of these in the fridge now, which will be plenty until I pick up more boxes next week. So let's get juicing. we got very fortunate to be able to get the last 9 big round hay rounds from a local farmer. And we're gonna get some hay bales as well, because out here was a bad growing year for hay. So everybody's pretty much out everywhere. So the guy we usually get it from, we were able to get 1 round from him. And we need it for the 4 cows, because the baby has been nibbling. It doesn't really eat enough to count, I guess. And we need some for the pigs. And then we're also getting some straw for the chickens and for our strawberry patches. And we need straw for the garlic. So that's why we have a big delivery today. Hopefully that's gonna be enough to get us through with the hay. As far as milking Miss Belle, we have not done it yet successfully. Charles is going to build us a stanchion, a milking stanchion, and we're going to separate the baby from Belle at night. Hopefully we're going to start that by next week. He will be going on 3 weeks, and that's our plan. Which is good because I only have a couple packs of butter left from the Amish farm that I get it from, and I didn't want to have to go back and get more. So hopefully that'll work out well. Alright, this is about it for all the oranges I'm gonna juice for breakfast. So this is going to give me pretty much a quart, a hair over a quart. Okay, so this made a little more than a quart. So I'm going to go on and mix in with this one the grapefruits. Alright, so this should be a little bit under, it's a little under a quart. Okay, so to get these washing, I just have them mixing in a mixture of baking soda and some vinegar. And I'm gonna let them sit in here for just a little bit so that they can get washed good. Okay, next I am going to start my bread while I'm waiting on these apples. So I'm gonna do 2 cups of just warm water. To that, I'm gonna add a little over a tablespoon of yeast, just a little over. Somebody asked where my yeast comes from. I just buy it in bulk. This is a smaller one. I actually buy even bigger ones. And when you open it, I just pour it into a bag so that I have it. You could put it in a mason jar or whatever you want. It'd probably be better to put it in a mason jar so it's not in plastic, but that's what I use. And I'm gonna add some sugar to this because you need sugar to feed the yeast. Now I'm just gonna give it a quick little mix. And I'm gonna let this sit and bloom, become nice and bubbly. It takes about 5 minutes. Okay, and now I'm gonna keep this loaf pretty simple. I'm gonna add some melted butter, or you could use some oil. I'm gonna add a good teaspoon of salt, a hair over. Then I'm gonna just add my flour. I'm gonna add 4 cups to start with, but I'll probably end up needing 5. And I'm just gonna let that knead for a few minutes. I can already tell I'm gonna need another cup, so this will be about 5 cups right here. And I'm just gonna let that knead for about 5-10 minutes. So you can see it's pulling away from the sides. So that's gonna be perfect. All right, so that looks good enough to me. So now I am just going to take it off the hook. It's just a little sticky, but you want it a little sticky or your bread will be kind of dry. And then just kind of peeling it off the bottom. And now I'm gonna just cover this and let this sit for at least an hour. All right, so next there's something that I need, and I'm gonna try and make it. Here, I'll pop this up real quick. So I'm gonna try and make it because I'm just gonna make Charles's favorite oatmeal cookies today. So he's got them throughout the week. The kids all love them, and I wanna make them today. But you need like a powdered sugar icing on top. So I have read where you can make powdered sugar just by blending up sugar. Now, white sugar, I can definitely see. I'm not sure about raw sugar. Or sugar in the raw. We'll see how that does. It might turn like goopy or sticky or liquidy. I don't know. So I thought we'd just try it and see. I'm just gonna put some in here. I don't want to make too much in case it doesn't work. I don't want to waste all my good sugar. So, all right, we're just gonna put this in a high-speed blender and see what happens. Hold on. Hey you guys, I think it's actually working. So I'm gonna do it just a hair bit longer. So glad this is working. That's so exciting. Look at that. Can you guys see? That is just straight up powdered sugar. That is so exciting because I wasn't sure how we were gonna do our Christmas cookies and stuff like that without powdered sugar to make, you know, icing to decorate the cookies. And that's it. That's powdered sugar, my friends. That's right, you were listening. Okay, now I'm just gonna cut these apples and slice them so that I can make the apple juice. And then everybody is starting to get hungry. So I'm definitely gonna need to be jumping into starting the pancakes and the sausage. So our chicken's production, egg production is down now. So we had to stop selling eggs, but we are still getting enough for our family. I'm getting about 7 to 8 eggs a day right now. But that'll drop down in the winter, and we'll probably only get like 5 or 6 a day when it gets really cold. All right, I'm gonna finish just cutting all these up and then we'll start juicing the apples. And then I'm getting hungry. Everybody's getting hungry. It's going on noon. Old time. I always do that the first day. Does anybody else do that? Say old time and now the new time, because your body obviously is not adjusted to the hour change. So to our body, it is noon, even though it says 11 o'clock. Our bodies say it's lunchtime and we haven't even had breakfast, so I need to get on it and get these pancakes going. So I'm just gonna do part of this, some of this juice, and then we'll probably take a break, make pancakes and juice more later. All right, and then I just have this little juicer, and now I'm just gonna real quick juice the apples, and then I like to put them in a strainer, through a strainer into a bowl, and then from there I'll put it into a jar. And that's it. It goes pretty fast. And then I'm going to make some regular pancakes and some apple pancakes, which I think will be good. This juicer, I think it works fine. My only thing is you have to put really small little pieces in, so it just takes a while. But homemade apple juice is so good. Fresh apple juice. We like to add a little bit of cinnamon to ours, or apple pie spice. It's really good. And then here, all I do is I just pour it through the strainer. If you don't, it can be kind of thick, especially when the apples are older like this and mushy. It can be more like an apple juice or applesauce kind of taste. And nobody wants to drink, you know, applesauce like that when you're wanting apple juice. All right, I'm gonna finish these apples real quick. Okay, so that got me about a half a gallon of apple juice, but I still have these apples that we had already washed remaining. So I'm gonna do some apple pancakes with our pancakes, but I'm also going to make a apple syrup to go on top. Sorry, my brain quit working for a minute. And a real quick thank you to Ginger. Ginger, thank you so much for the new pan. I'm so excited to use it. This will be our first use of it. And thank you so much. You've got me the whole collection. And I absolutely love it, and I'm very, very grateful. Okay, so to do this, I'm gonna use my little handy dandy slicer core thing here. If you don't have one of these, you can just do it by hand. Okay, it's just being ornery. Okay, and then I have this, and I'm going to just chop that up to make the apple syrup. Or not. What is going on? Well, my slicer is going to need help from Charles. It is not wanting to work. But that's all right. It just makes it easier because we are all hungry right now. As far as all the scraps go, nothing is going to go to waste, you guys. I will completely use this and give it to my animals. They like the orange peels, the apple pulp from the juice, all of it. The orange pulp, all of it. All my animals love it. So for the apple pancakes, if you guys can see, I do want them to be in circles. So I'm just cutting them into rings because I'm going to dip the rings into the pancakes and make like the pancake go around the rings. And then these I will keep, if I have any that are a ring, like that's a good one. That one will be fine. That one will be fine. I'll keep these. Few I have for dipping into the pancake batter. These I'm just going to cut up. And put in the little saucepan. And just cut out the center like that, so you don't have the core. Again, it's just easier to use the apple peeler core slicer if you have it. Okay, so to this saucepan, I'm just going to add some butter and some cinnamon, and I'm going to just cook this on low. I should add a little bit of salt as well. Just a little salt as well. And I'm going to just cook this on a low burner in the back until breakfast is done, and then we'll add a little maple syrup to it. A medium low is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go on and make sausage patties out of the sausage and get those on the cast iron skillet. And then we'll start the pancakes. Okay, so I'm just going to stir this back here, the apples. I will want to just kind of stir them a little bit. As you can see, they're already getting yummy. Just so fast they turn out. It'll be so good. Can't go wrong with butter and cinnamon. Okay, now we're going to make the pancakes. So I'm going to start with 2 1/4 cups. I'm sorry, 2 1/2 cups of flour. So there's 1, 2 1/2. I'm going to want 2 tablespoons of baking powder. 2 tablespoons of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs, but we're going to beat them real quick. So 2 eggs beaten. Stir this together real quick. And we're going to add the eggs. We got about 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Then we're going to do a couple cups of milk. And that, you make it as thick or as thin as you want. however you like your pancakes. We don't like ours really thick and fluffy. We like them a little bit flatter. So I will probably need to add more milk. And if you're dipping the apples, you do want it to be a more runny batter. I'm going to add some more milk to this. Alright, and then that's it. I'm going to let this sit while we heat this griddle up. And I need to stir these apples. Let's stir those up real quick. Alright, now I've got my griddle heating up, and it's time to flip this sausage over here. I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Could have went maybe a hair bit longer. Alright, and then here I'm just going to do some plain pancakes first, because that is how Theo likes them, and Luke, just plain. So I'm going to get those started first. Alright, and now our pancakes are looking good. So I'm going to go in and get these up. I think I need to butter my skillet. First batch of pancakes is always the roughest. Definitely not using a non-stick spray is the hardest thing for me about the whole cooking everything from scratch. So I'm going to add a little butter to the next batch. Okay, so this time I'm going to start with just a little bit of butter on the skillet. Then I add my pancakes. All right, much better. Okay, next I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to make the apple. I'm going to start just by melting a little bit of butter on the skillet. Then you just take your apple slices and you dip them in the pancake batter. And then these you just flip. Oops, I grabbed the wrong spatula. This was my sausage spatula. And And here our syrup is doing beautifully. I'm gonna go on, just turn the heat off now on this because everything is almost done. Okay, so here is breakfast. I'm gonna have Charles do a taste test for you guys. There's the syrup. I'm gonna put a little bit of that powdered sugar we just made. Let me get it together. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the pancakes. Now he's gonna do the apple pancakes. Then I'm gonna do a little bit of this powdered sugar on top. And then I'm gonna spoon some of this delicious syrup on top. And of course, some sausage. That is breakfast. It smells divine and we're ready to eat. All right, babe, you're up.
All right. And then once I do this, I need you to see if I need deburred.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I pulled off like 100 so far.
You need to come on though, we're ready. It's 1:30
Oh, no.
and we are hungry. I did feed him this morning before he went out. He had oatmeal. Nobody else ate.
Mmm. You guys won't like it. You should find something else to eat.
How is the apple pancakes and the syrup?
It just blends beautiful. It tastes great. It's like apple flavor, but not overbearing.
Mm. How do you like the powdered sugar? I made it in the blender. Mm-hmm. Very cool. I was trying it out.
Sugar?
I just put the raw sugar in the blender and turned it into powdered sugar. Powdered sugar. Power sugar.
Guess
I know,
about where powdered sugar came from, but
I know.
that's awesome.
How handy. All right, we're gonna go eat. We're starving. Okay, so next. Next I need to do the bread real quick. My kitchen is a disaster, but before I can get it cleaned, I need to really get this bread rising in its loaves. So I'm gonna just take some butter here and rub it around my loaf pans. Or you could just use a non-stick spray. Next, I'm just going to take my dough and punch it down. And then I am just going to divide this into two. It is so soft. 2 loaves, even as you can. And then I just kind of roll it like a jelly roll. So I just kind of make like a rough rectangle kind of shape. And then I just kind of roll it and just keep kind of pushing it in. And then just kind of tuck the sides or the ends under. It makes a pretty perfect loaf that way. Nothing needs to be precise. Such a nice soft dough. And that's it. I'm going to cover, and this is going to rise for a half hour to an hour. Alright, so next, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bread. This loaf is look prettier than this one. It's just, it'll fluff out more when it's in the oven. And I just have a beaten egg here, and I'm just going to brush the top gently so I don't, you know, pop my dough. Just gently cover it with the egg wash, and then I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 until it's nice and golden brown on top. Takes about a half hour. Just want to check it. All right, I'm gonna get these in the oven. All right, so here is bread when it all comes out, and then I just have some butter in my hand here, and I'm just gonna rub that on the top. And let that just kind of soak in there. It smells so good already. And that's it. That's our bread. This will last us probably a couple days. Now I'm just gonna let that cool. All right, now I'm gonna make the oatmeal cookies. This is one of Charles's favorites, and I can make this, and then he can also have it to take with him to work for the week. I don't know that I'm gonna make all of it. I'm probably gonna make half of the cookies, actually make them up today, put the other half of the dough in the freezer, so that way I can just pull it out and make cookies again in a few weeks if I want to make some more oatmeal cookies. But I'm gonna make a full batch, and like I said, just freeze half the dough and bake half the cookies. So here's how you make these oatmeal cookies. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is in my food processor, I'm gonna put in 2 cups of old-fashioned oats. I made it a little bit full. And then I'm just gonna pulse this a few times. I still want it to have bits in it. That looks good. So this is about how you want it to look. Just like that. And now I'm just gonna set this aside so that's ready to go. Okay, in my mixer I'm gonna have 1 cup of melted butter. 1 cup of sugar, and then you're gonna add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. But now I'm just gonna add a 1/2 cup of sugar, and then I just add a drop of molasses. That's the same as adding brown sugar, and I guess it's the lazy way of doing it instead of mixing up a bunch of brown sugar, but I like to do it like that. Now I'm gonna pull this up, and I'm gonna go on and mix this together. I'm also gonna add 2 eggs. Okay, and now I'm gonna lower this down. I'm going to add 2 cups of flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. That one's a little bit under. And you're going to want to add a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm just adding some fresh nutmeg. That's the only kind I have anymore. Okay, and then we're going to mix this all together. Then I'm going to pour in the oats that we just pulsed. Get those stirred in. I'm just going to use my little scoop here and pop them down. If you're using this and you use non-stick spray, then that's a good time to spray this. Definitely makes it easier. And then I just push them down. I just pat them down. And then I'm just gonna bake them until they're done. It takes maybe about 8 minutes, somewhere in there, and just pop them in the oven. Now I'm just gonna set them on a cooling rack to cool, and then we will ice them after they're all nice and cooled off. Okay, so now I'm gonna make the icing. So I'm just gonna do powdered sugar, and then just the tiniest bit of milk. Really don't start with that much. And I like to just do it with a fork. As this is coming together, because it was the raw sugar instead of a really white icing, it's going to be a little bit more of a brown icing than, you know, if you were using store-bought. But yeah, that's perfect. That's what I want, so I can just kind of drizzle it like that over top. That's perfect. And then all I do is just line them up. And this is about half the batch. I did put the other half in my freezer. Let's start with this many. And I'm just gonna drizzle the icing on the top. And then you gotta let it just kind of air dry, and the icing will get nice and hard. Alright, for dinner tonight, I'm going to keep it super simple, and we are just going to have taco salad. So first I need to make up some taco seasoning. So then I'm going to make up a jar of that so we just have it. And then just cook up the meat. I've already got canned salsa, home canned salsa. And yeah, just keep it super, super simple. Here's the taco seasoning for right now. I'm going to start with 6 tablespoons of chili powder. Four teaspoons of cumin. 3 teaspoons of smoked paprika. Love this stuff. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. That wasn't quite. Okay, I said 2 teaspoons of onion powder. I'm not sure if that picked up on that or not. My battery died. One teaspoon of black pepper. And about an 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'm also gonna add about a half teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar. Then that's it. I'm just gonna put it in here and just shake it all together. Get it all mixed up. Alright guys, that is gonna wrap it up for tonight. I know I didn't show you the taco salad because I had to go out. We had to do some stuff with our cows and we had to move some of this hay. So I just need to put it together really fast and that's it. It's just taco salad, nothing special. We're just gonna grate some cheese, homemade salsa, some lettuce salad mix, and that's it, and taco meat. So nothing fancy, and I will see you guys here very soon. Bye everybody, have a great day or night wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching.